All right, boom. Guys, good evening. I'm excited about this video because this is what I call the golden goose. This is how you can create a plan that you never run out of money. And the time to do it is now, is today. So I think it's going to be a good video. I'll try and not waffle too much. I'm in my Real Bedford jersey, which I got. We are the richest club in the world. Will be something that I'll likely be saying in a couple of years because Real Bedford, we hold our company treasury in Bitcoin. So we're likely to be the richest club in the world because we're the first club in the world to do that. And we're 10 leagues off the Premiership right now. Okay, or 9, I think, 9 leagues off the Premiership right now. But we're coming for that league. We're coming for league football. So I'm excited for that, excited to be part of the journey. It's a bit of crack. But what I want to talk about today is the golden goose. Okay, and the huddle mentality and how you can build your golden goose. Okay, and if you know the story of the golden goose, all right, the old fable. To be honest, I can't really remember it, but I remember there was a golden goose and it used to lay a golden egg. It might have been every day, and they decided they wanted to get more eggs out, so they killed it and they cut it open and they killed the goose, and then they never got any eggs anymore. So with Bitcoin and digital assets, you know, in Crypto With Dinny, this is what we do. We teach people how to retire early by using these digital assets, by partaking in the highest performing asset class in the world ever. Okay, so I know if you're new to this market, you may think it's risky and volatile, but all the volatility is our friend. With no volatility, we'd be like gold investors. We'd have put our money in 10 years ago and we'd have the same money today as we had then. So volatility is our friend. Volatility is what we need if you want to retire early. Now, in the golden goose, there's 3 steps. I call it the AHS, and this is part of what we teach in the Crypto With Dinny consulting and our boot camps. And shameless plug, we're doing one tomorrow. I'll talk about that later, maybe. Remind me to give a shameless plug out to what we do with Crypto With Dinny. Guys, for anyone who's on here, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, flex the guns. It helps the channel, helps support the channel. And also, I'll just, before I get stuck into this is going to be amazing, I'm going to enjoy it. Check out, I talked to John O'Connor on the podcast. All right, now John O'Connor is an Irish entrepreneur, 20 years experience. But he's not a normal entrepreneur like me, not a small fish. John has taken the company public, and John talks to me in depth about Bitcoin and why he converted all of his savings to Bitcoin. It's probably worth checking out what a super smart guy is doing and how he understands this thing. Check it out on our YouTube channel, you'll get the podcast, or on Spotify. So my golden goose, let me know in the comments if the sound is okay. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on YouTube, so I'm trying to balance all the cameras. That's why I was a little bit late getting on. However, my golden goose technique, okay, there's 3 stages to this technique, and if you get this right, you won't ever have to work again. Not only that, but you'll never have to worry about money again. You're not going to create a sum of money that runs out. It's not like some people come into this space and they make 10 grand or 50 grand. It's like, okay, yeah, but that's not going to last your lifetime. You're not going to retire on that, and it is going to run out. I believe when you structure this correctly and you build your plan correctly, you can create a golden goose so you never run out of money. And I'm going to explain to you how it works. It's 3 steps. The first step, and I tweeted on David McWilliams' post, he was looking for people to come and consult or come on a panel and talk about Bitcoin. And unfortunately, I'm a terrible dyslexic. And instead of saying in depth, like I've studied Bitcoin in depth, I typed in depth, like DBT. So I probably blew that. It's like, who's this idiot? But I am dyslexic. But, you know, I did retire before 40, so I don't think dyslexia holds you back. Here we go. Accumulate. A-C. I think I wrote it down here. Didn't it look all right? A-C-U-M. A-C-U-M-U-L-A-T-I-O-N. Your first stage, okay, to build your golden goose is called an accumulation phase. Okay? And I'll explain to you why this is the very best time to be part of the accumulation phase. All right, so accumulation phase, you need to get the assets. We're talking about digital assets. That's what I specialize in. Okay, and we'll just talk about Bitcoin, but let's keep it simple. Okay, so if you're in the accumulation phase, that means if you're only a crypto investor for the last 6 months, or 6 weeks, or 6 days, okay, but not 6 years ago. 6 years ago, you're out of the accumulation phase, okay, but 6 months ago, maybe a year ago, all right, so your job is to accumulate this stuff. Now, I've done hundreds of videos on why Bitcoin has value, on why Bitcoin continues to increase in value, on why Bitcoin is money that's programmed to go up in value over time, on why Bitcoin is a transformation from digital store of value, from physical store of value to digital store of value, and it's inevitable, just like filing cabinets were inevitable to get disrupted once the cloud was invented, or just like paper maps were inevitable to be disrupted when digital maps were invented, or digital music, and every other example when we digitized something and we just migrated away from the physical then because the physical was so inferior. So we won't give you an understanding of Bitcoin, we'll assume you know all that. And if you don't, go back and check all my videos, subscribe on the channel, like the channel. We call it the daily exercise here, okay? That's how we get our goals. We hit the like button, we press it, we subscribe, and we comment so I get to know you and you become part of the community. Okay, so accumulation is phase one. In the accumulation phase, okay, when you get this, okay, most people don't get this. If you're in the accumulation phase, you love it when the price crashes. You love it when the price comes down. You hate it when the price goes up because you haven't accumulated yet. You need to be accumulating. So when I'm in the accumulation phase and I'm buying Bitcoin today and then next week Bitcoin's lower, I'm not annoyed, I'm delighted because it's cheaper again. And if the next week it's down lower, I'm delighted because I'm in accumulation phase and I get more Bitcoin for my euro. So people who understand this and people who get this and people who've retired themselves, like in Crypto With Dinny, we say, you can retire yourself if you get this right in 4 years because we've seen people do it. Okay? And we've coached people who've created retirement plans that are equal to what people create after 40 years of investment. And they've done it in under 4 years. Okay? So while you're in the accumulation phase, you hate when Bitcoin's pumping. You hate when you check your app and your Bitcoin is worth more. You don't like that because you're savvy, you're a sophisticated investor. You're not like the herd who just want to see their tenner turn into 12 euros and are missing the whole point of this. This is generational wealth that you can build if you get it right and understand it. Okay? So you love bear markets, you love sideways markets, you love choppy markets, you love volatility, and then most of all, you love big red candles when Bitcoin crashes and everyone else is crying and you're going happy days because I'm in the accumulation phase. Okay? Once you've got your accumulation phase, so it doesn't matter when you start this journey. Some people started accumulating Bitcoin 10 years ago. I didn't. Okay? And some people started accumulating Bitcoin 5 years ago. I didn't either. Okay? But it doesn't matter where you start your journey. Everyone goes through, who gets this right, goes through the accumulation phase first. Initially, people come in and they go through the trading phase where they buy and sell and try and time the markets, and they lose their money. I was just a professional trader. I was out for a cycle there earlier, and he works on eToro. He's one of these guys that you can copy trade, and he literally stopped doing it because he said, I'm sick of losing money. And he's a professional. He's just like, I've stopped trading. I just invest now because I was sick of losing money. So I think a lot of people into crypto thinks about trading. It's not about trading. Don't trade. You don't need to trade. You just need to accumulate. Okay, so hopefully you've got that. Type in the comments if you've got accumulate and see. I'll be able to see if I spelled it right. Okay, the next phase, when you've got a sizable bag, a huddle bag, and you're happy with your position, and you can, I'm just going to say Bitcoin, okay, but you can whatever asset you're bullish on. Okay, the next stage can be a huddle stage, okay? And huddle in crypto language and crypto slang, it just means hold, okay? So it just means do nothing. Don't sell, don't buy. So for instance, many people who bought Bitcoin 8 years ago, they don't buy it today because they were buying it at far lower levels than it is today. So there's no need for them to buy it anymore. They don't need to, there's no value compared to the position of Bitcoin they have. There's no value in them trying to add to that position because what they're buying today might be 1/1000th of what they already have. You know, so it's sort of a foolish move, if that makes sense. They're better off just spending that fiat, consuming that fiat so you can hodl that Bitcoin, that digital gold, okay, that collateral, okay, so you don't have to touch it. So we start off with the accumulation phase, that's step one. Step two is the hodl phase. And in the hodl phase, you're just doing nothing, okay? You're living below your means, you're getting in fiat from your job or other assets that you have or savings or whatever, and you're just letting your Bitcoin do its thing and be an investment. An investment means it's just something that sits there. You're not worried about it. I don't need it today. And without going on a tangent, because you know I love that, but where people go wrong is they don't separate their living expenses from the money that they're going to invest. And that means that they're putting the money they need to buy a car next year into Bitcoin or whatever asset, okay? And then next year they're like, oh, I need my money back, okay? That's not investing. Investing, you've got to separate your living expenses, and that means all your living expenses, all right? From your dog food to your, you might need a root canal, you know, do a proper financial statement for yourself, okay? And then we come to the spend part, and I'm going to show you how this is a golden goose now, 1 second, okay? So it's the accumulation, the hodl, and the spend. I can spell spends correctly. We're good. What do you think of the Real Bedford jersey? It's pretty cool, isn't it? Let's get Dinny on the back there. Might get a game for the lads, will I? They're down in the lower leagues, but I still don't think I could. I definitely wouldn't could. So the spend phase, and this is where you start to actually consume your Bitcoin or sell your Bitcoin or liquidate some of your positions. Okay, and this is different for everyone. When you do this, and what we teach in the workshops is specific price points, so that you're not emotionally trying to figure this stuff out. You've decided ahead of time what your goals are and what your price points are, and how you'll navigate the market ahead of time. So you're not trying to make emotional decisions, because that's an absolute train wreck. And anyone who's been here for 2 years will know, because they've seen their bags go up and they've seen their bags go down, and you'll notice that you didn't sell the top. In fact, most people have sold the bottom, because that's just what retail people do. We're trying to teach you Crypto With Dinny a little bit more sophistication, although we don't look very sophisticated. But that's the beauty of crypto, isn't it? It's democratizing finance. And I had to Google what that meant before, because I heard someone say it, and I was like, what's it mean? And it just means we're making finance. Like, you don't have to be going around in a bleeding suit, lads, to understand this stuff. You can be mad Egypt having the crack. And the lads in the suits come to you to figure it out, because they don't understand these digital assets. They know the normal system. Okay, I digress. Anyway, here's the deal. This is how the Golden Goose works. So guys, remember, if you're enjoying this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, show a bit of love, and the best way that you can support the Crypto With Dinny channel, the best way that you can support me, is by sharing this content. Okay? You guys know, anyone who's been following me, I've been lashing this stuff out for free for a couple of years. Okay? And I love it. It's good crack. But by sharing the stuff, it just helps the channel, and it motivates me, because it's a bit of banter, meeting new people, there's good energy, and the Crypto With Dinny mission is to spread Bitcoin awareness in Ireland, so Ireland isn't left behind. I recognise from being in conferences all around the world that when I go there and then I come back to Ireland, there wasn't the hype, there wasn't an understanding, no one had a fucking clue. But then I go to London, like this capital where there's just like so much wealth and they're all so clued in, and I'm like, Ireland hasn't a clue what's happening. These guys are all balls deep in it. Maybe I need to try and build an Irish community here, but I can't do it alone. I'm only one man. That's what I'm all about, community and getting involved and doing your part. That's what I say to people. We all have a part to play. For me, Bitcoin has made my life much better. It's given me a bright future. I don't have to worry about money. I used to have money worries. I used to live in a bloody mobile home. Okay, so I really know money worries. My motivation for starting this journey was seeing my parents have money worries their whole life, despite working hard. Okay? But it's not a one-man show. So be part of the community, share the stream, comment, like, tag, send it to your buddies, email it to people. You know, not just my stuff, but any Bitcoin related stuff, and help people to understand this thing. Because we all think it's a drug dealer's money, or a Ponzi scheme, or a get rich quick. Okay? Or a passing fad. But there's not a single person on the planet who's done 100 hours of work on Bitcoin and hasn't done a full 180 and go, oh my God, this is big. This is as big as the internet. This is going to change the world as we know it. We don't know how it's going to change it, but it's going to shift. It's going to shift humanity massive. It's the next big thing, okay? And even if it's just a 5% chance of that happening, it'd be foolish not to have a 1% allocation to it, okay? Get your 50 quid and buy your Bitcoin, just in case. Just like people said 10 years ago, please buy $1 worth of Bitcoin. And anyone who did probably has €1 million today. All right, the same is true today. I know you think you missed the boat. Everyone says that, but do the work on it. Anyway, let's get back to the Golden Goose. Does Dinny waffle or what on a Friday? Give us a drink here, lads. Water. Is anyone doing the darkness into light walk in the morning? Myself and Denise are getting up to do it. Then we're going for a swim. Haven't been swimming now in a couple of weeks. So I'm sure the sea is roasting now, because I was swimming in the winter. So let's say we know that Bitcoin is just trending up. Bitcoin's the money that goes up in value over time. And when will Bitcoin stop going up? Well, it'll never stop going up, because it just gets scarcer and scarcer. And scarcity is where value comes from. The scarcity is one of the number one influences on something's value. Okay, just like our life is finite, so therefore very scarce. That's why our lives are so valuable. Okay, and when people die, we get very, very sad, because we value that fact that they had scarcity, and we all have scarcity. Okay, and that's what gives life meaning, the fact that our time on the planet is finite and it's insanely scarce. It's only a fucking grain of sand on a beach, or a grain of sand in the universe for everything that's going on. Okay, so Bitcoin's going up in value forever, because Bitcoin's getting scarcer and scarcer and scarcer forever. Okay, so this is how Bitcoin trends. All right, look at this. It just goes from zero and it goes up. All right, it goes up in value over time, but it doesn't go like in a straight line. Okay, any of you guys are here for a while, you know it goes like this. Look, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. You know, in the daily, way. Okay, so it goes choppy up and down, up and down, up and down. But when you zoom out and you look at Bitcoin, you know, you go back 4 years and you're like, well, it's much harder than it was 4 years ago. Or you go back 3 years, it's much harder. Or you go back 6 years, you're like, well, it's much harder than it was then as well. So it literally is just trending in a straight line up with volatility. It's just this massive bull run. And it's just like it has this gravity and it's just eating the world's money and sucking money out of all asset classes. Okay, so it goes up with volatility, but it literally is just going straight up. If you can stand back far enough and not look at the daily and not look at the monthly and not even look at the yearly, but just look at what's begun and that we're going straight up. So Bitcoin's a money that goes up in value over time. Okay, where are the little lines there? You made mess with my thing. So let's say this is your accumulation phase. And you spend a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years aggressively accumulating. That just means buying Bitcoin. Let me check if Facebook camera's still working. Ah, it is. We have a heap of lads on there. A heap of lads. Okay, so let's say you accumulate 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 years. In Crypto With Dinny, we build 4-year plans. We're like, guys, let's do this. Let's sort it out. But let's do a 4-year plan. We're going to think about this in a 4-year cycle. And we won't talk about Bitcoin cycles. But there's a reason why we say 4 years. Okay, so we decide on a 4-year plan. And we accumulate aggressively for 4 years. All right, and we want to accumulate, get as much Bitcoin as we can. Get that collateral in. Okay. Now the huddle phase, depending on how much you can defer your gratification, will determine the size of the eggs that your golden goose can lay. Okay. Some people won't want to huddle at all. All right, and they'll be happy after 4 years. You know, and they've got a good 6-figure portfolio, and they're like, that's pretty decent. I think I'm going to draw down on that. You know, if they've aggressively accumulated. So the huddle phase might be too long, and it's very much individual. Some individuals will be like, well, I'm not ready to retire. I enjoy my work. I have my salary. I have my wages. I don't need to touch my asset. I can leave that there. I'm finished accumulating, but I'm just going to leave it there because maybe I'll leave it there for another year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, whatever. Like everyone's at a different stage. Some of the investors that we help build portfolios are 25, and some of the investors that we help build portfolios are 65 and older. You know, so generally when you're older, close to retirement, you're not going to have the huddle phase as long. Okay, most of our investors, probably the average age is in around 35 to 45. It is where a lot of our investors, in saying that though, we've all ages, okay, so disregard that statement. All right, so the huddle phase is individual, okay, but then we have the spend phase, because the whole point of investing is for future consumption. It's to buy your time back, okay, it's to so you can have a better future. That's what money is. Money is a vehicle, okay, to store human energy over time. Well, that's what it's meant to be. We know that what we call money, a euro, is a shit vehicle at doing that, excuse my language, but it's terrible. Because if instead of saving my wealth in a euro, I saved it in a sheet of plywood, that would have been a better money, because sheets of plywood are more expensive now. So sheets of plywood are money that goes up in value over time. They were 25 quid last year, it's 75 quid for a sheet today. I consulted with someone in that trade only yesterday and he was chatting to me about it. That's crazy, okay? But in general, that's what money's purpose is, and that's why our money currently is broken. It's really bad money, okay? And hopefully you're learning that now. It's certainly what we've been communicating for the last couple of years. But so let me have a sip of water there while I'm after losing my train of thought. Anyway, Dinny, it's hard work these lives. You know, it's not like they're scripted or if anyone helping. By the way, if anyone wants to help me build a massive Bitcoin and crypto podcast and you have a bit of experience, get on board. Maybe we can work together. Maybe you can help me with the production quality, because as you can see, it's fairly average, but we're having the crack. Imperfect action is better than no action. That's what got me out of mobile home, was not trying to be perfectionist, just getting stuff done. Okay. What was I talking about? So, the spend phase. We want to spend the Bitcoin, okay? We want to consume the Bitcoin. But here's how it works. It's like a chocolate bar, okay? You've been aggressive in your accumulation, and maybe you've done a little bit of huddle phase, and now you're ready to consume. You're like, I want a Lambo. That's why I started this crypto thing. Isn't that why we all get into it? We want a Lambo, okay? But here's your little chocolate bar, okay? And this is your portfolio. Think of it like a little bar, or a big bar. Hopefully it's a big bar, okay? And you want to consume it, Okay, so you start to consume, because remember, the beauty of digital assets is they're fractionalized. You can break off whatever you want. You don't have to sell the whole Bitcoin unless you're buying an eToro, but that's like fake Bitcoin or Revolut. Don't do that. Get my 5 things to know before you buy digital assets on my website for free, and it'll teach you those mistakes if you're making them. Okay, let's say you take a chunk out of this. You take a little bite out of your bar. Okay, 10%. You chip off 10%. And because you've been aggressive and you've been part of the highest performing asset class in the world, 10% is enough for you to live for 2 years comfortably. All right, it's a nice little chunk. Maybe you have 100 grand there after. Maybe your portfolio is a million, so you're chipping off 100 grand. Okay, you have a nice few bob there. You can live on 50k a year. That'll be all right. You could get by. Okay, but what happens at the end of 2 years when you've spent that 100 grand? Maybe it's only 50, whatever. You know, plug in, insert whatever number you want. It doesn't matter. Okay, all your lump has to do is Bitcoin's going to continue to go up in value. So you're liquidating, you're selling part of your lump, okay? And then you're living off and having a crack. But your lump is still there, and that's still growing. And that's why it's a golden goose, okay? Because as you're consuming it and spending it, it's still growing. So that's why when you do a good accumulation phase and you defer your gratification and maybe a huddle phase and let your investment grow, it gets to a critical mass that it's like you can never get rid of all your Bitcoin, because every time you spend a bit, the bit you didn't spend just keeps going up in value in fiat terms. Its purchasing power is growing. That's why I save in Bitcoin, because I'm saving in the money that's continually going up in value. So when I price anything I want to buy in Bitcoin terms, it just gets cheaper. Every couple of years it's cheaper, like petrol. It's getting way cheaper in Bitcoin terms. But in euros, it's getting much more expensive. Okay? So that's the nest egg, that's the golden goose, is that when you've accumulated and you've hodled and your portfolio has grown and it's done the magic. Because Bitcoin's doing 160% a year, on average. That's what it did. Now, I don't think it's going to do that going forward. And in my workshops, and in the consulting, we run numbers. And I always run bearish numbers, so that we can, and still, with the bearish numbers, it blows people away. And sometimes they're like, Dinny, that's not possible. And I'm like, well, these are bearish numbers where we are, what do we run? We're 110% under what Bitcoin has been doing historically. You know, it's not like we're like going 160%. And thinking it's going to continue at that. We go way bearish, and perhaps it outperforms that. But even at that, people are always surprised and they're like, seriously? I can get that much by only investing this? All right, Dinny, let's do this, okay? And that is the beauty of it, because the longer you hodl it, the more you defer your gratification, the bigger your golden goose grows. And then you literally can't spend the money. You come in 2 years' time, you're spending some money. You go away for your 2 years spending that money, spending it, but your golden goose continues to grow, because Bitcoin's going up forever. Remember, every 4 years Bitcoin halves. We get a parabolic bull run. 90% of the coins are mined already, and the miners aren't even selling. Okay, so that's why it's so exciting. That's why you have to pay attention to us. That's why if you understand this and you do a little bit of work on Bitcoin and you go, okay, I get it, Dinny, I get it. All right, I'm going to accumulate this sucker. And I am delighted that the price is going down, because I see the future. I see where this thing is going. I've done a bit of work on it. I'm listening to all the sophisticated investors, the Ray Dalios, the Paul Tudor Jones, the Bill Millers. You know, Bill Miller, the only man to beat the S&P index for 15 years straight. The only man on the planet who was a better investor than just following the index for 15 years straight. 50% of his net worth's in Bitcoin. 50. Imagine that. And he's a granddad and he's figured it out. Okay? So, pay attention. Build your golden goose. Accumulate, stack. Also, you have to say, lads, this isn't financial advice, and I'm not a financial advisor. There's financial advisors wear jerseys like this. Go on, Bedford! Alright? Well, they probably will in the future, because we're going to be one of the biggest clubs in the world. We're going to be the biggest club in the world, because we're going to be the wealthiest, so we can literally buy our success. Okay, so financial advisors will wear Real Bedford shirts in the future, but not yet, not for a couple of years, and maybe not for 6 or 7 years. Okay, by the way, I just wanted to mention, anyone's watching my videos and sitting on the sidelines and sitting there looking at it and going, I have to do something, I'm getting smacked by inflation, this Dinny lad's talking sense. He's a bit of a mad lad, but he talks a bit of sense. It makes sense to me, it does make sense. And I've been hitting the like button a lot, I've been doing my daily exercise, and I want to take it to the next level. Okay, bootcamp, tomorrow morning, give me a half day of your time, and I'll give you a plan to retire early. We're going to build this thing, so that's what we do in the bootcamp. onto the website cryptowithdinny.com, go to workshops, go to bootcamp, click buy, you get a Zoom link, I'll see you live at 9 a.m. in the morning when we'll build it out together, okay? And William done a promotion, I don't even know if it's still running, you can try it, because I think it ended last night actually, so I better not mention it. But anyway, it was capital letters bootcamp 50 and you got 50 quid off, so you can go and check if it's working. But if it's not, don't come crying to me because I don't really know how to set that up on the website. But capital letters bootcamp 50 and you get 50 quid discount. But it may or may not be working, so don't hold me to that. Apologies if it's not when I got y'all hyped up. But still, I'm giving you a plan to retire early for 249 quid. It's the best money you're going to spend, my friend. That I can guarantee. Go and look at our 100 reviews on Google Reviews. Also, beware of scammers in the comments. All our videos, Crypto With Dinny impersonators, telling, reaching out. Remember, I've been telling you, don't trade. So if you get a message from me saying, "Hi, Paddy, how's your trading going? Do you want me to trade for you?" You can be pretty sure it's not me. Okay, so just be aware of that. And yeah, I mentioned checking out John's podcast. Let me know what you think of my Golden Goose lesson. Let me know if it makes sense. For some people early on their journey, it won't make sense because you're like, well, how do you know Bitcoin's going to go in value forever? And how do you know? Because it's programmed above money. It's programmed to go up in value over time. That is why Bitcoin. That's why we own Bitcoin. That's why we bought into Bitcoin. That's why we invest in Bitcoin. That's why we hodl Bitcoin. That's why we accumulate Bitcoin, and that's why we only spend Bitcoin when we've reached our Golden Goose status. Okay. But again, not being hard on people. If you're new here, welcome. This is an amazing asset class. Please learn about Bitcoin. Please understand it. If you want help, I'd be delighted to do it. I teach you for free. Check out my other workshop, Bitcoin Basics. It's free. It's on Thursdays. You can see it on my website. Anyway, I'm going to jump off. It's Friday evening. I have a workshop in the morning. I'm going to be teaching this stuff for a half day. We're going to be building retirement plans for people to retire early. They're going to give me a half day. They're going to work with me from 9 o'clock to lunchtime. And I'm going to fry their brain because we have a lot to cover. But ultimately, we get this thing done in a half day. And then you have to do 30 seconds of work once a month. Just to action it. You don't have to look at charts. Don't figure stuff out. They just have to 30 seconds of work once a month because they're in their accumulation phase. All they're doing is accumulating. There's no charts. There's no what do I buy. There's not how much do I buy. We worked all that out in the bootcamp. That's the purpose of it. We built our strategy. We decided how much money we need to retire early and when we want to retire early. And it was action the plan. So guys, hope you have a super evening. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all the likes. Stick a comment in if you haven't, because that helps the algorithms. If you're on YouTube, throw a comment in. Let me know what you thought about it. If you are, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to share. Have a crack with us. Thanks. Dinny out. Boom. Happy Friday. Stop streaming.